Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. You can call me Bizcoon and ignore if my eyelids seem to be moving rather erratically. I had to make a quick change of scenery in terms of where I'm recording this for reasons, let's call them. But I wanted to go on a bit of a rant on payment processors, specifically apps that do those things. Now, I know that payment processors have been in like the drama sphere the past like a few months ago with, Collective Shout and Visa and MasterCard and Steam and all that, requiring Steam and other game hosting sites to remove games that have suggestive themes, especially things pertaining to the causing of harm to women, let's call it, which I get why they would want to do that, but at the same time, people were very concerned over just, not wanting their games taken, or it even extends all the way to like free speech and stuff. But that isn't really what I want to talk about. What I really want to talk about is how payment processing keeps on getting in the way of doing business. So basically, there's someone that I've been helping out with their art commissions because the person that they normally go to has been unable to. So so they wanted me to do it, which I was more than willing to oblige. But there was a specific method that they wanted me to use at first that required that I get verified first in terms of my address. Because unfortunately, I was not at home when I was setting up the app and I tried to use like geolocation and they needed me to get a document as proof of my address, which I was able to provide like a bank statement, but it got turned down multiple times because they thought that the picture I had taken wasn't clear enough, even though I'm pretty sure most people, even without glasses, could see that it was clearly legible. And I had to tried to retake it at least three times in order to get verified. And it takes several hours for it to happen. And it's like, after three times, it's like, do I really have to do this? So, what we decided to do instead was that the next best thing would have been to use crypto. Now, I know how a lot of people may or may not feel about crypto as currency just in general, because, with like rug pools and pump and dumps and meme coins and all that, but this is just basic Bitcoin, which the only way for me to have done that is either through like certain websites, which was a hassle and a half to want to set up because, well, I'll get to that in a moment. But the best way for me to do it was Cash App. Now, PayPal also has a way to get and transfer crypto, but I needed more time before I was able to do that. And I'm like, I don't have the time to wait. This person needs the money now. So we ended up just doing Cash App, which, speaking of which, what happens a lot is that certain transactions end up getting declined, allegedly because it's for security purposes, which I understand. Obviously, you wouldn't want like your information to get stolen, or you don't want to get scammed out of your money, which let's I think I've mentioned this before in my streams, but that is a topic for another time. What I really want to talk about is just the way that these apps function. So, what would happen is that I would try to get crypto, and it would either not give it to me at all as part of their security measures, or maybe I would get it, but when I try to send it to whoever it is I'm sending it to, it ends up getting declined once again, either because of safety reasons or even unspecified reasons. No, you see, what had happened is that I had been sending them crypto this whole time, but recently I haven't been able to, and they wouldn't specify what the reason is. And I'm like, seriously? I've been sending this same guy money this whole time, and all of a sudden you decide that no, you're not good enough. And no, actually, I remember my Cash App account got temporarily locked because they thought that I was involved with a scam, that I was scamming people or that I was being scammed. And I'm like, no, I'm not. This is legitimate money that's going for a legitimate business. And apparently, the only way that I was able to resolve it was letting them have access to my contacts, which I did not want to do. I did not want any of these companies to have access to any of the people that I am in contact with. But when that happened, all of that more or less got resolved. But there are some other problems that we were facing. Namely, we had to use multiple different methods in order to receive the payments, be it through things like Chime, Venmo, PayPal. We tried using Cash App to receive payments for commissions, but they all kept getting declined for my safety, even though I knew what the context for these payments were. Specifically, Cash App kept declining every single one of these transactions. They would try to send me money that was meant for the commissioner or the artist, and it, each time they kept getting declined. It didn't matter how much they tried to send or what the reason was, they just kept declining. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? They need this money for their artwork. And the fact that I've been having trouble trying to send the crypto just pours more salt on the wound. So we've been just doing PayPal and other things instead, but I tried to do crypto on PayPal and it says, "Oh no, you can't do it right now. We need to wait a little longer." And I don't have time to wait. They need the money. And so I have to get all these other payment apps just so I'd be able to pay them. And not to mention, I had some other things going on, and I was in a very bad financial spot. And I still kind of am, only it's not as bad as it was before. Let's just leave it at that. I said that I would make a video about that, but not right now. But all of the. But yeah, I had remembered that I had created an account for that one app that they originally suggested. I completely forgot that I even had it because my proof of address keep not working because they think that the images I was providing were not clear enough, even though they were about as clear as could possibly be. But now they're finally getting the money that they need using this other app. Unfortunately, they would have much preferred crypto just due to the exchange rates because they don't live in the same country as me and they don't really have like PayPal in particular, and only things like crypto and these other apps would suffice. But they told me that crypto was the best way to get the money because it had a better exchange rate as opposed to doing it more directly where the exchange rate is not as great. But we don't really have much of a choice. And that reminds me of another thing. Fees. Instant transfer fees. I expect to be able to give this person the amount of money that they had made. But whenever I try to do instant transfers from like one thing to my bank account to another thing to crypto and all of that, there are fees upon fees that keep piling up because we have to get them done like right away. We could wait, several business days. That way it's for free, but I know that they need the money, right? But of course, no, like when you try to go from PayPal to your bank, it's like a 1.75% fee, which if they receive like a $300 commission, that fee is going to add up. And then not only that, but in order to buy crypto, it's another 1.75% for an instant transfer. So if I have 300 and then it goes down to 295, and then that's going to go down to like 293 or whatever. And so And then, in order to actually send the crypto instantly, it's another 333 bucks. And so what was supposed to be a $300 commission that was supposed to be sent to them ends up becoming $290. We had to spend $10 just so I could get it to them on time. And then with the whole issues that I was having trying to send the crypto, and it kept getting declined without any specifications whatsoever. I tried to contact support, and they were of absolutely no help whatsoever. I mean, no disrespect to the people that work in these support lines, because I know they have to deal with disgruntled customers. They're just trying to do their job, and I don't blame them, but come on, man. Seriously. And so I have to send it back to my bank. And knowing the volatile nature of crypto, I had $1,000 worth of crypto at one point, and I lost 100 just due to the change in the market. And I was so pissed. And so even that, just selling the crypto has a fee attached to it. And then I have to put it back in my bank account, which is even more fees. And so we lose like $20 overall just trying to help them out with their commission. But thankfully, this payment method that I should have used before that required proof of address that declined 3 times because the picture allegedly was too blurry, even though it was not blurry in the slightest. We finally got it set up, and the only fees that I have to worry about is just one-time fee from not Cash App, because Cash App has screwed me over more than once. But from like PayPal to my bank or from Chime to my bank, I only have to pay the one-time fees for that. And then this other app, it's called Skrill, doesn't have any fees attached to it with regards to that. And so, thank goodness, we finally found a way that works. Although, unfortunately, from what they told me, they don't get the money right away when it comes to Skrill, and so they wanted me to get another one called MoneyGram, and it's like, oh my god, how many more of these do I need? Having 4 is already overwhelming, combined with all of the fees, and then knowing that crypto had a better exchange rate than just going from USD to whatever currency that they use. It's all just a hassle. It's been such a freaking hassle. And I wanted to make this video for a while, but certain things kind of got in the way. And so I haven't been able to, but it's about time that I started making this. And I just really wanted to rant about it because it's such a headache. It's a freaking headache trying to get the money only for it to be declined, trying to send the money only for it to be declined, having to deal with instant transfer fees and all that, so they don't get exactly what they needed, and then the exchange rates between crypto and whatever currency that they use. Oh my god. How does anyone put up with that? But I think, yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I just wanted to rant about this for a few minutes, just so I'm sure plenty of other people have had to go through the same kind of thing I did. And yeah, go ahead and discuss down in the comments whatever experiences that you've had with these kinds of payments and stuff, whether or not you yourself receive commissions, whether you're a freelancer just trying to get things done only for things to be declined because they assume that you're scamming people, even though I know for a fact that the person that I'm trying to help is not scamming. I'm not going to say much. I think I've already mentioned it on stream before, but that's about it. So yeah, go ahead and let each other down in the comments know what kind of struggles that you've had to deal with regards to these payment processors and payment apps, and leave a like, subscribe, share the video to anyone else who's had to deal with this, and I hope to see you guys in another discussion. Take care.